There's a secret the optical industry has been hiding in plain sight for decades. It's not buried in confidential documents or encrypted corporate reports. It's engraved on the inside of your glasses' temple arm. The price you paid for them, whether 200, 300, or 400 euros, doesn't reflect the manufacturing cost, the quality of the materials, or the precision of the design. It reflects something far more disturbing: the absolute control a single corporation exerts over every link in the chain, from the factory to your face, including the insurer that convinced you that you were getting a good deal. And the most surprising thing isn't how they built that control. The most surprising thing is who is destroying it right now, and from where. Manufacturing a complete pair of glasses costs between $5 and $8. That includes the lenses, the frame, the hinges, and the logo engraved on the temple arm. However, the average consumer pays between 30 and 50 times that figure when leaving an optical store. Not because the materials are superior, or because the design requires aerospace engineering, but because a single corporation has spent more than 6 decades quietly buying up every piece of the optical sector until eliminating any trace of real competition. That corporation is called Luxottica. It manufactures the glasses, owns the stores that sell them, manages the insurance plans that finance them, and controls the brands that consumers believe compete with one another. Its market value is around $165 billion. More than 4 billion people on the planet need corrective lenses, and all of them have been paying the prices this company decides to set. But right now, a city in eastern China with fewer than 1 million residents is manufacturing lenses and frames of identical quality for pennies, and e-commerce companies are selling them online for $3, $5, $7. To understand why that's an existential threat to a $165 billion empire, you first have to understand how it was built. And for that, you need to meet the man who built it from scratch, an orphan in the Italian Alps. In 1935, in Milan, a boy named Leonardo Del Vecchio lost his father before he could even remember him. His mother, alone and without resources, couldn't support all her children. She left him at an orphanage. No one adopted him. What he did have was an extraordinary ability for precision work. At 14, the orphanage sent him to learn a trade at a die-making workshop, where metal is bent and cut with millimeter precision. Most apprentices hated it. Del Vecchio loved it. He discovered he could manufacture tiny metal components with flawless precision. He understood something few entrepreneurs understand. If you can manufacture a small part better and cheaper than anyone else, you control a fragment of the supply chain. And if you control enough fragments, you control the entire product. In 1961, at 26, he opened his own workshop in Agordo, a town in the Italian Dolomites. He wasn't making glasses yet. He was manufacturing the components other companies needed: hinges, temple arms, nose pads. Those parts cost almost nothing to produce, but optical companies paid a substantial markup. Del Vecchio saw the gap between production cost and sale price. That gap became the foundation of everything he built afterward. Over the following decade, he climbed rung by rung, from manufacturing components to manufacturing complete frames, from manufacturing frames for other companies to selling them under his own brand, from selling his own brand to acquiring other brands directly. He named the company Luxottica. But the machine didn't truly come alive until he understood something no one else in the industry had grasped. Manufacturing the product was only the beginning. The real fortune lay in owning everything around it. The absorption strategy. The expansion that followed was so gradual and quiet that even industry professionals didn't realize what was happening until it was already done. In 1990, Luxottica went public on the New York Stock Exchange. The capital raised became its acquisition fund. In 1995, it launched a hostile takeover bid for an American footwear corporation 5 times larger than Luxottica. It didn't want the footwear business. It wanted what was inside, a chain of optical stores called Lens Crafters. In one stroke, it acquired hundreds of retail locations across the United States. In 1999, it bought Ray-Ban for $640 million. At the time, Wayfarers sold for about $30 in gas stations and pharmacies. Del Vecchio pulled them off those shelves, raised the price, and placed them exclusively in his own chains. Within a few years, the same Wayfarers were selling for more than $150. Today, they exceed $200.
The product didn't change. Same lens, same frame, same hinge. The only thing that changed was the owner and the number on the price tag. But the acquisition that revealed the empire's true mechanics was Oakley. In the early 2000s, Oakley was a dominant, independent brand that sold extremely well within Sunglass Hut's stores, which were controlled by Luxottica. When Oakley and Luxottica had a disagreement over pricing, Luxottica simply pulled all Oakley products off Sunglass Hut's shelves. Overnight, Oakley lost access to the largest specialty sunglasses retailer on the planet. Its stock price fell by roughly half. Not because its products had gotten worse or because customers had stopped wanting them, but because one entity controlled the shelf space and decided to empty it. In 2007, with the stock still depressed, Luxottica bought Oakley for $2.1 billion. The company that owned the stores had strangled the brand, sunk its valuation, and then bought it at a bargain price. Once inside the empire, the products went back on the shelves and prices went up. The Oakley case sent a message to the entire industry. Challenge us on pricing, and we'll pull you from our stores, watch your stock collapse, and buy you for a fraction of what you're worth. After Oakley, no brand ever challenged Luxottica on pricing again. The closed circle. With competition neutralized, Luxottica signed licensing deals with major fashion houses that wanted glasses bearing their name but didn't want to design or manufacture anything. Prada, Chanel, Versace, Armani, Burberry, Dolce & Gabbana, Ralph Lauren, Tiffany, Michael Kors, Coach, Valentino, Tory Burch. The deal was always the same. The fashion house lent its name and collected a fee. Luxottica designed, manufactured, distributed, and placed the frames in its own stores. The customer saw a pair of Prada glasses for $350 and 2 shells down an unbranded pair for $80. Both came off the same production line with the same materials. The only difference was the logo on the temple arm. In 2018, Luxottica merged with Essilor, the largest lens manufacturer on the planet. The combined company, Essilor-Luxottica, now owned the frames, the lenses, the brands, the factories, the stores, and the lens technology all under one roof. And it owned one more thing that almost no one mentions. iMed Vision Care, the second largest vision insurance provider in the United States, with 43 million members.
Think about what happens when you go to the eye doctor. You get your prescription. The staff tells you your insurance covers frames up to $150 at participating locations. You pick a pair, insurance pays its share, you pay the rest. What you don't see: the insurer is iMed. The retailer is LensCrafters or Sunglass Hut. And the manufacturer is Essilor Luxottica. All three are the same entity. At no point in that transaction does the consumer interact with a competitive market. Imagine this happening in any other industry and it would be front-page news. In the world of optics, it simply became normal. When Leonardo del Vecchio passed away at 87, the boy from the Milan orphanage had become the second richest person in Italy. The machine he built kept running without him, and everything described here would be permanent and unassailable, if not for a place in eastern China that almost no one outside the optical industry has ever heard of. The eyewear capital of the world. Danyang is located in Jiangsu province, about 2 hours west of Shanghai. Its population is under 1 million. It doesn't appear in travel guides or business itineraries. But Danyang produces more than 400 million lenses a year, 50% of all lenses manufactured on the planet. 1 out of every 2 corrective lenses in the world comes from this single city. It also produces more than 100 million pairs of frames annually, a third of China's total frame manufacturing. More than 1,600 optical companies operate within its limits, employing more than 50,000 workers and generating approximately $2.8 billion in annual revenue. This industry's origin follows a familiar pattern. During the 1960s, a group of young people who had worked in lens factories in Shanghai and Suzhou were relocated to rural areas during a period of political upheaval. They arrived in Danyang with the technical knowledge acquired in the city, set up small workshops, and taught their neighbors. By the 1980s, a homegrown optical industry had taken root. The transformation came in the 1990s and 2000s. The local government invested in industrial parks and pushed manufacturers to raise their standards.
Companies began investing in research and development, formed partnerships with universities, and acquired precision grinding equipment equivalent to that used in factories in Germany and Japan. A turning point came in 2014, when a Danyang company built the first optical lens coating machine manufactured entirely in China, breaking the foreign monopoly on that equipment. Today, Danyang's factories produce lenses with multi-layer optical coatings, blue light filtering, UV protection, and precision grinding, exactly the features premium brands list to justify high prices. Independent laboratory tests have confirmed that these lenses match or exceed the optical performance of lenses sold under brand names at a cost 10 to 20 times higher. Some of those same factories produce lenses that end up inside frames bearing European and American names sold in Western optical chains. Different box, different logo, same lens. The crack in the wall. Zenni Optical was a pioneer in recognizing this opportunity. Founded in 2003, the company buys lenses and frames directly from Chinese manufacturers and sells them online to American buyers at prices that bear no relation to what they'd pay at LensCrafters. The model eliminated every layer of cost that Luxottica had spent decades building in. no physical stores, no licensing fees flowing to fashion houses, no Luxottica markup between the factory and the customer's mailbox. A complete pair of prescription glasses at Zenni starts at $6.95, including prescription lenses, anti-reflective coating, and frame. Zenni has sold more than 50 million pairs. Warby Parker approached the same problem from a different angle. One of its co-founders lost his glasses on a trip and went to replace them. The optician quoted him $700. He stared at the price and thought about the phone in his pocket. That phone contained a microprocessor, a camera, GPS navigation, and a high-resolution touchscreen, and it had cost less than 2 pieces of curved plastic and glass on the counter in front of him. He launched Warby Parker in 2010, offering prescription glasses for $95. The company expanded to more than 200 physical locations and went public in 2021 with a valuation exceeding $6 billion. The numbers are shifting. Online eyewear sales have grown at double-digit rates globally for 5 consecutive years.
In the United States, the share of prescription glasses bought online has gone from less than 3% in 2015 to more than 15% in 2025. And that percentage is even higher among younger buyers. Every percentage point that shifts toward online purchases completely bypasses EssilorLuxottica's retail network. EssilorLuxottica isn't collapsing. It reported revenue of more than 28 billion euros in 2024 and remains the dominant force in the industry by a huge margin. But the trajectory matches what has happened in every industry where an entrenched monopoly has simultaneously run into the internet and Chinese manufacturing. Incumbents always believe disruption will stay contained at the margins. It never does. More than 4 billion people on this planet need corrective lenses. For decades, a substantial share of them have paid prices set by a single corporation that manufactures, distributes, retails, and insures glasses from start to finish. And now, a city of fewer than 1 million people in eastern China is producing the same product at the same quality for a fraction of the cost, delivering it directly to consumers who are starting to ask the question EssilorLuxottica never wanted anyone to ask. Why does this cost so much? The answer is impossible to forget once you hear it. It costs this much because a company decided it should cost this much, and nobody stopped them until now. If this video changed the way you think about something you're wearing on your face right now, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Turn on notifications and tell me in the comments, did you know a pair of glasses costs between $5 and $8 to manufacture and sells for $250? Does that change what you buy?